a guy named Rip, right? He's over at Level Up Your Game. I fought the guy once in Street Fighter V Beta with our Bisons. And it was fun. I know the guy because I watch him do Tekken stuff all day. He's part of the crew, like, at Avoiding the Puddle, Eris and Rixta. They're always doing Tekken stuff, right? So Eris was supposed to go to Japan this week, and he's out there on Japan, going to Japan, so that he can commentate a Tekken international tournament. It's like the big Tekken thing that's happening this week. It starts at, like, this weekend or something. It was supposed to be him, Tasty Steve, Markman, who's kind of like a dude who organizes everything, and I think maybe a couple other people. But it was mostly just those three guys were going to be in Japan doing commentating for Tekken. Eris was going to do some streaming stuff off a laptop so that he does like a social eating thing. He was going to do his best to like share in Japan experience, right? Well, last week, about a week ago, Rip was in Japan. And he actually walked around Japan with a camera strapped to his chest, and he streamed it. So he would go into, like, he was really showing off Japan as you would as if you were to go there. He's, like, walking into these arcade places that have claw machines and shit. He downs, like, $30 on a claw machine that he can't win a fucking Death Note, piece of Death Note paper. It was pretty damn funny. And then there's, like, these stores upon stores of anime figurines and shit. So, it was cool to watch, because him and Tasty Steve were there and just walking around Japan. Now he's back in the States, and he was not supposed to go back, but something happened yesterday where he really wanted to go back to Japan and help Eris stream his experience in Japan. And a lot of it is also like, they're going to go into arcades and play Tekken, and they're going to have a camera set up and a stream set up so that you can watch them play some Tekken, as well as, you know, the game Tekken itself, of course. So, that's really, I mean, the whole thing is really interesting as fuck, right? But Rip wants to go back, and he can't really do it out of pocket. He can't just go back to Japan. He doesn't make that kind of money. Commentators don't really make that type of cash. So, he made a stream last night, asking for donations, basically. He was just flat out like, I have a goal of going to Japan again already. Even though he's not supposed to, he wants to go back kind of on his own, as just like his independent person. And he can make it happen, but he needed like $400 or $500 or something, which is quite a lot, right? I didn't think he was gonna get anywhere near that. He's only got like 200, 300 viewers or something like that. Decent. I mean, that's actually really good in terms of, like, I don't know, being a streamer, right? But that kind of money doesn't seem like something that would come down. Within 2 hours, he hit like $900 donation thing, and that's all just from people visiting his stream. He got $900. He got more than he asked for by like quite a lot. So needless to say, he is now heading back to Japan. And in fact, they should all be on their way to Japan like right now on a flight. But that was really crazy interesting. It's really neat that this guy, I mean, he's a commentator, so people know him, right? He commentates Tekken tournaments. He's a professional. And he streams, and he has a part-time job. He's a very involved individual, and a pretty good streamer, I like to think. I like watching him every once in a while. And he asked his stream if they would support him going over to Japan, and they didn't just, like, mildly support him. They fucking gave him $900 to go to Japan on. That more than covered the ticket, and that probably will help him stay there in, like, an okay hotel, I guess? I don't really understand how it works, but he was, like, completely bowled over. Like, he couldn't believe... It's the first time he's ever asked anybody to do anything like this. It's the first time he ever had made, like, a donation drive or anything like that. And there it was. He got $900 out of it, and he was just completely flabbergasted. And I was really surprised, too. I mean, it's like this... It's such a power of chat, right? That if somebody really wants to support you, and you've got a lot of those kind of people... I guess, like, they could really make magic happen. It's like, I never really thought of it in that terms before. I've seen it. I've seen big streamers get like hundreds of cash, right? But those are like guys that have $1,000, max $1 million, right? They produce videos. They produce like weird little movies, or you know, they're successful in some other way. They're like successful people in other ways other than their stream, and people still donate to them. That's just, I don't know. It's just kind of how it is. But this dude is more like an average tier streamer, I guess. I don't want to say low tier at all, but he's more like a standard streamer that you would kind of find, you know, a standard successful streamer, if there even is such a concept. And he just asked us to chat if they would support him, and they did. It was crazy. It was really crazy, and it really shows like the power of chat. The power of chat is what it really is. If you've got people that like hanging out and you build something with those people, they really do want to support you. And I don't even know who these people are. Like, maybe they're like extremely successful money people, right? And they don't have much to spend their money on, and they just kind of save it every month. I don't know. I seriously don't know. But it was really cool. It was really cool because now Rip is going to Japan again. And he's not just going with him and Tasty Steve this time. It's going to have Sajam, who's a Street Fighter V commentator. It's going to have all that cool shit. He's going to have all these cool guys that he's been friends with forever. And on top of that, he's going to have that chest camera thing when he walks around and stuff. And he's going to have like an extra battery pack. He's going to be able to do it for longer and all that shit. And so we're going to be able to see Eris and possibly Rick Steezy. I think he said he might be gone. We're going to see Eris and Tasty Steve and Rip playing Tekken 7 in a Japan arcade, just sitting down, pumping in quarters to a thing with I think they call it a Bana Pass. It's like a card thing that they swipe on the machine. It like stores your info. It was so cool to see. And he streams when he like fucking eats there and shit, so the food's really interesting to look at. Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool thing. We're going to get to see that again. For like over the next week. They should be there for like 8 or 10 days. Really, really awesome stuff. I wanted to bring that up mostly because I want you guys, you Infected, anybody who's interested in this type of shit, if you guys have even like a passive interest in anything, Japan or Tekken, like, it's just a really neat thing to see him walking around. He'll visit shrines and stuff. He'll go into the places with all the fucking figurines and shit, and he'll show that shit off. And you just watch him walk around Japan. It was really cool to see that, and now we're going to get it again, but with even more of his buddies there. So I was really just wanting to spread the word, but yeah, I kind of agree. Never underestimate us. It's very underestimating. Like, I didn't really appreciate the kind of relationship streamer and chat can possibly have. You know what I mean? Because I'm a low tier streamer. It's just me, it's you, Infected, it's Monica, Sarah, Game Boy. I mean, we all just kind of, that's really it. It's not really something I think about that much. I goes, well, this is cool. I got some people that hang out with me. That's about as far as I think of it. But for Rip, he's got like 200 or 300 people. He probably thinks it a little bit differently. But at the same time, he still thought to himself, there's no way I can ask these people to help me go to Japan. I mean, that's just like, it's not going to work. It's not going to, why would anybody help me? You know, he had that mindset. And then he was completely blown away. Not only did they help him, but they like completely overhelped him. They paid for like his whole thing. Pretty intense. And I think it's really does show the power of chat. You know, it's just, if you can build something with people, I guess people really like it. I guess. It's just, I don't know. It blows my head. I just really wanted to get that out there. That shit was really cool to see it. I'm glad that he's going. He's a really cool guy, and he does really good work with the stream and everything. So I want him to stream I want him to stream more there. I look forward to it. It's just walking around Japan is cool, and then he's gonna play some Tekken 7, which is even better. Never underestimate us. Yeah, you should know this, considering that I'm the majority shareholder of ADHD Incorporated. That's true. You've managed to beat out Dark Souls Master, who shows up like out of nowhere and donates about as much as you did. But now he doesn't show up so much. I think he's really a Dark Souls Master, so he doesn't care too much about anything else. He doesn't care about the boy band trip. But yeah, I mean, Infected, you're actually you're a very strong notion for that too. You blew my mind when you come in. I mean, the fact that you even show up as often as you do. I mean, that kind of blows my mind. I mean, why do you care? Why would you ever give me a little bit more time than you would give anybody else on Twitch? That's kind of my thought. It's like, what do I do? Who am I? You know, it doesn't really matter. Because when you're looking at this huge list of Twitch streamers, and they all have like one viewer, how do you determine like who do you watch? I think a lot of people just don't. They just are like, well, I'm not going to bother with these guys. But you kind of stopped by, and all these, Monica and Sarah, they're not goons. They came by from, I think from the I was streaming Zelda, and that's when Monica showed up, and she still comes back, even though I haven't touched Zelda. I haven't touched Monica. I haven't touched Zelda since fucking Skyward Sword. I even dropped it. I didn't even beat it. Anyways, it's just some weird shit I wanted to get off my head. It's really cool. I definitely encourage, check it out, for sure. Definitely check it out if you are... Oh my god, this guy doesn't even sell items. Later. I fucked up. I really fucked up. I thought we were going to make something happen, but there's no items here. I gotta find like an actual item store.